This is my personal knife that I made 100%. Sheath is Cordura. It's got a strapping that goes around the leg. This is a fixed rig. It's got a quick retention snap. This knife is it's made specifically for my hand so that it fits all together really tight. The advantage is I'm not going to drop this knife in a panic. Disadvantage, in a panic, it's going to be hard to get my finger in that hole. It's going to be really difficult, but once I do, I've got this thing. I'm not going to drop it if it gets tapped. It's got a full micarta handle. It's all handmade. I do make these for sale, by the way. I'm not following.
Finger break.
Oh yeah, disadvantage, and I can cut and edit wherever. The disadvantage to this is if somebody does know how to do a knife disarm, and if they're badass to take your knife away, you're screwed anyway. That's just the hard reality. Do whatever you can to not get in that situation. If you can, if you're able to conceal carry a firearm, just do that. Don't even mess with the knife. Another advantage, this has a back cut. I can come back, if somebody comes at me, blade to blade, I can roll this around and I can snap and snap really quick. It's a really hardcore blade. I wouldn't make a great survival knife, but this tip is going to be a lot sturdier than a lot of other tips. Like against the Tanto, again, it's a thicker steel too, but the difference in tips, this is going to be a lot stronger. And it'll still penetrate. It won't penetrate as well as this one, but it'll still penetrate. And we're going through soft flesh. I'm not penetrating a steel plate, for Christ's sakes. This thing, it's going to be strong. It's going to last longer. I'm not worried about it breaking on a bone. Disadvantages, it's a little heavy. But again, that's a training issue. The more you train with a big, heavy knife, the lighter it feels in your hand. It's not really an advantage or disadvantage, but that's just fun. The fact that I can spin it. People like that.
Distraction.
It could be a distraction. It's kind of the same concept as a balisong or a butterfly knife, if you want to call it that. It's a intimidation factor. They see you doing something like that, they might think, he knows something I don't. And they might back up, hopefully. So that's the Bowie. I like the Bowie. If I'm going to fight with any knife here, it's going to be the Bowie knife, because that's just what I practice with a lot, and there's a lot of advantages to this knife. Having back cut, having that heft. If somebody comes at me, this knife is big enough, I think I could take a wrist off if I really put enough effort into it. If not off all the way, it's going to go through the first few bones. Or if I just snap down on all these bones in the back of the hand, fight's over. It's a hefty, hefty knife. Another disadvantage, it doesn't have a lot of retention, which is good and bad. For this purpose, it's good. I don't want it to get stuck in there and have to fight with it to get the knife out into battery. So, that's my Bowie knife. Now we get into the really old school, big fighting knife. This is a cold steel kukri. It's a hefty, hefty, hefty blade. You could do a decap strike easy with one swing. This will take a man's head off. And I don't mean halfway, I mean take your head off.
That's on YouTube.
Stump. This is going to be gone. You're going to take one swing and it's going to just tear apart. Anything that this connects to is going to just be decimated. This is a huge, hefty knife. This thing's like 5/16 thick. That is a hefty hunk of steel, but I like that it really tapers down into a really fine point. Again, that can be a disadvantage. The old kukris weren't made that way. They were the same thickness all the way through the blade. This is full flat ground. That's going to have a lot more cutting power than something that has, like my Bowie, it's only hollow ground. So this is going to have more cutting power for two reasons. One, because it just goes from spine to edge. This one's going to have a steeper angle. So the kukri, another disadvantage to this, it doesn't have any guards. If a blade comes down, it's going to get guided right into your hand. Another disadvantage to this is, again, it's a heavy knife. If you overcommit, you're opening yourself up for an attack. All it takes is for somebody to just time it just right, and then they can get in there and close the gap. This is something you need to do a lot of quick, it's hard to do a lot of quick motions, but all it takes is just one solid hit with this. If it connects, you're done. There is no, I'm okay. I'm okay. I think I got this. No, you're sitting down. You're gonna be whimpering, crying, and probably dying very quickly. The wound channel on this thing, if you can, it's very different to do a thrust with this kind of thing. It's more of a punching motion than a thrust. But it does have a massive wound channel, and because, again, with that organic edge, just like we talked about with the boot knife, if you do a slash cut, because of that edge and the way that geometry of that blade is, if you cut and pull, it's going to be like a guillotine slicing through. So that's about it. That's a few different types of fighting knives, big ones and small ones. They all have their purpose, and it's about finding what fits right for you in your function. Like, I'm not going to take this and strap it to my hip and walk down to get my car gassed. I could. It'd be fun. But it wouldn't be recommended. You're going to get screwed with. Something like this, you can conceal. There's a big debate over concealed carry, things like this. Yes, it is illegal a lot of the places, but I would rather have something concealed and not get messed with over it than have something out in the open and get messed with for 3 hours about why I need to have a big knife on my hip. So there's a big debate. I'm not saying look into your local laws. Just be cautious and aware. But I'm not saying don't do anything. I'm not saying do anything. Just do whatever you want. It's not my damn fault. All right. So that's fighting knives in a fixed blade format. Hope you enjoyed it. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.